Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back. My name is Ariel, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys 3 Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs, including how to make their skeletons posable. So if you want to see how to do that, then keep watching. Today's video is a part of a challenge hosted by Heidi Sonboul DIY. It's one of her fall challenges, and in this playlist, crafters will be doing both fall DIYs and Halloween DIYs, so I'll leave those links and the link to her channel below. First, I'm going to show you guys how I made that spider x-ray. It looks like an x-ray to me, so that's what we're going to call it, but I'm going to show you guys how to make that artwork and create that effect with basically anything. So first, I'm using these Dollar Tree spiders. I started by painting a coat of white over their canvas, and then I just figured out where I wanted my spiders to be placed. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but I am adding just a dab of hot glue on one of the legs. I don't want to completely glue it down, but I just want to secure it enough so that it doesn't move for the next step. And once it's secured, you want to spray paint the entire canvas. Now for this step, you want to make sure that you're spraying from directly above, because if you spray from the sides, then you might get under the legs and it won't turn out right. So make sure you're spraying from directly above the canvas to get this effect. Last year I tried to create this same exact thing, and I ended up not even sharing it, not even saving the footage, because I sprayed from the sides and I didn't get this effect. But if you spray from directly above, it will turn out right, and you will have something that looks like this. It just looks like an x-ray to me. In the next clips, I'm going to show you guys another method to get this same effect by using the little felt cutouts of the bats that I got from the Dollar Tree. But you can skip this if you don't need to see it again, but I'm just giving you guys another option. Also, you could spray paint it a different color if you want to, but of course it looks more like an x-ray when you use the black spray paint. And I don't know why my spray can was dripping here, but I think it kind of added to it at the end. But just one more thing, if you are going to use felt, you want to use blue tape instead of the hot glue to secure them temporarily, just because I felt like the felt would probably not agree with the hot glue when trying to take them off. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to make the Dollar Tree skeletons posable. And this is perfect if you don't have a huge front yard for the larger ones, or you're just on a tighter budget. First things first, you want to break all of his legs. Like, he really wronged you and you're in the mafia and you want to just break all his legs. And then he's going to have these little nubbies where he used to be connected, and you want to just cut those off. And that's going to leave a little hole at the bottom of each of his limbs. You might need to stick either a stick or a pen or something just to make that hole a little bit bigger so that you can slide the wired cord in. And so you basically put a little bit of hot glue in there and stick the cord in, and then connect it to the other part of the limb. So if it's the arm, you want to connect the elbow to the forearm, and so on and so forth. And you can kind of see what I'm doing here, and I did that for every single one of his joints. I also want to mention that you don't have to cut long pieces like I did in the beginning. You'll see that the pieces of the jute cord got a little bit shorter as I went along, because I realized I did not need to cut them that long. So you probably only need about an inch or less of jute cord for each joint. I did do the shoulders, but I did not put any cord in his hip joints. You can paint him whatever color matches your decor, but I went with black because that matched my decor better. And then whether or not you are going to make him sitting or standing, particularly if you're going to make him standing, you want to have something for him to stand on, and you want a little bit of support for him on his back, because he's still not going to be able to stand on his own even though he is posable. So that's what the wooden dowel is for. It's just a little bit of extra support for him to be able to sit up straight and stand. Then I did a really terrible job at drawing and cutting out a jack-o'-lantern face into the pumpkin. I thought it would be interesting, but you can definitely skip this step. But I did paint the pumpkin that he would be sitting on, just so that it would match. I also ended up spray painting one of those orange spiders that you saw earlier in the video, and that's basically going to be his dog, or I guess technically his pet giant spider for this. So let me know in the comments what you guys want to name his pet spider, and also give me a name for him. I feel like his name should be Jack, but I don't know, that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what we should name the skeleton and his pet dog. I did secure him to the pole with a zip tie. You can't really see it here, but it is a zip tie that I used to secure him to the wooden dowel. So here they are, Jack and his giant pet spider. And I had so much fun figuring out which pose to put him in, because every year around this time I go on Pinterest and I see people with their giant posable skeletons, and they're in all kinds of fun positions like reading the paper or doing yoga, and it just wasn't possible for me because I don't have a huge front yard to put one in, and they're kind of expensive and I'm on a budget. So I was so excited to share this with you guys when I figured this out for anybody else who is in a smaller space or just on a budget like me. So if you like these DIYs, please leave me a like in the comments. On this channel I do DIY, home decor, and home improvement on a budget, Dollar Tree hauls, and all kinds of budget-friendly shop with me's. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, then please consider subscribing. It would make me so happy if you did decide to join me and stick around for a while. This next project actually just kind of evolved as I went along, and I ended up changing my mind at the end, but you'll see all of that in a minute. But for the first step, I did cut the hands apart, and the goal was to really just glue them together and then glue them to the skull like you see me doing here, but all of that kind of changes a little bit later on in the video, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Now, if you want to follow this tutorial using the first design, or I guess method that I show here, then this next step is very important. You want to be sure to cut the hole in the skull and also add the rocks at the bottom for stability, because if you haven't guessed already, this is going to be a candy dish, so the top part is going to be heavier once you add the candy in. Now, this is where the project took a turn. I just didn't really like how the hands looked kind of like horns on the skull, and that's not the look I was going for. So I separated everything and somewhat started over, I guess. I just changed the base out for just this wooden block, and I did end up making a hole all the way through. I changed off from the Forstner bit to an auger bit, or what did I use? I think I used a hole saw bit actually on my drill. I ended up using a hole saw bit to drill all the way through that wooden base and then paint it black, and just added a little bit of moss to make it kind of look like the hands were coming out of the earth and holding up the candy dish. Just little skeleton hands coming out of the grave. And ignore the Paw Patrol ruler and like bracelets and stuff. This is just leftover candy from my nephew's birthday party that we had at my house. Let me know in the comments what your favorite DIY was from this video, and please consider subscribing if you liked these DIYs. Also, make sure you check out the playlist, because I already know there's going to be some really nice Halloween and fall decor in that playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.